Sure. Hey, Coach, how would you describe the training camp now that you're 3 days in? And do you feel like players are starting to get a little bit more comfortable with what you're trying to accomplish?
Yeah, I think, just another step in the progression. I thought we scrimmaged better today. And people are starting to settle in and just get used to not only the way in which we're doing things, but, playing together and reading each other. So yeah, day three was better, significantly better than day two in terms of meshing as a team.
Considering you didn't really get a training camp last year, how does your training camp evolve? Is a week from now, for example, different in terms of what you have the players doing and what you're looking for than in the first couple of days?
Well, I think there's two things that influence how we set up the practices. One is, you know, um, incorporating a lot of new people, and there's a little bit more teaching involved than normal, maybe on some things that are fairly routine. But once they get it, then we can move quickly. So we were able to move more quickly through some things today, some of the drill work. We concentrated a little bit more on individual skills today and seeing where within the scope of our offense we needed more attention on things. So we did more breakdowns and on both ends, both defense and offense. And
Really?
you know, it's looking pretty good. So I think just the way it's constructed is a lot of new faces. So we got to spend the time necessary to do things right, so that we don't have to go back over and reteach things. But our players are picking things up pretty quickly, and again, better today than yesterday.
We're going to get the chance to talk with Kelsey here in a moment for the first time in a few months. Do you sense that after what she was able to accomplish last season in Bradenton, that she enters training camp with a different level of confidence maybe than last year?
Yeah, I think so. I think that would be accurate. You have to get her thoughts on that. But I think two things. She had a very good 2020 campaign, and then she also spent part of the winter working with USA Basketball and learning some things there and competing against the best that we have here in the U.S. So I know that helped her growth, and I'm sure Kelsey is a proud player. She wants to do well. She wants to excel, and she's willing to put in the work. So I think Kelsey's primed for another good year, taking her game to another level, and also being one of the leaders of our team.
That's all I got, Ryan. Thanks, Marianne.
Sure.
Thanks, Pat. Next, I see we have Mike Lucas. Mike, question for Marianne.
Hey, Coach. I know it's only been a few days, but what have you seen from Aaliyah early on in her rookie debut?
Aaliyah's doing well, about as we expected. She's a very athletic player who can play both ends of the floor, high energy, really focused, and I think she's handled herself really well for the first few practices. With any new player coming out of college, this is all brand new. I mean, there's 144 jobs. She's one of them. And I think the awareness of just how good the level of play is something that every rookie has to adjust to. And she's adjusted really, really well.
Sure. Hey, Kelsey, after your season last year and the success that you had in Bradenton, do you enter training camp with a higher level of confidence than years past?
Yeah, I definitely do. But I wouldn't even say so much it's because of, the season I had, although it plays a factor. It's just, I don't know, the belief system I have here with Coach Catch and Doc Barber, that's what I call her. And my coaches like Coach Steve and of course Coach Marianne, like they just kind of implement that, they make it better for me to kind of like be myself. So I think the more and more I get into it, the more and more comfortable I get.
Is it odd for you at all to consider yourself a veteran? I mean, I know this is only year 4, but on a younger team, you kind of are.
Yeah, it's pretty weird because like Aaliyah Wilson, and even like Maya and all them and Unique, they ask me questions and I'll be like, it's so weird because like, I don't know, I was just there and I'm kind of still there because I'm still technically on a rookie contract. So it's weird for them to even ask me questions or look at me or know that they believe in me to ask me questions. So it's weird, but I enjoy it. I'm grateful for it, and I treat them with respect. And we just kind of like bounce our mentalities off one another and enjoy it at this point.
How would you describe that dynamic? Because it would seem like on one hand, you've got a lot of players now looking up to you, but on the other hand, you're still looking to grow and improve in your own right. And you're probably looking up to perhaps more veteran players or the coaching staff. What's that dynamic like for you?
It's pretty weird though, to be honest, Pat. It's one of those things where it's like, how do I even like respond? Because like I said, I was just there. So I take it as a one day at a time type of thing. It's really weird because a lot of them don't know. And I'm just now knowing and understanding, but I'm not fully there. So I think collectively, the more we get into it, I think we'll all just get better as the day goes on. But like I said, that leadership role and being able to embrace the young ones, although I'm pretty young myself, it's a big deal. And you just want to be there for them because everything goes fast. So you just got to be there for them when you can and be that support system they need.
As a team, you guys didn't really get a training camp last year, and I know you had been through them before, but with a new coach, I'm sure that was made the learning curve a little bit more steep than you would have liked. How key is having a training camp in a second year under Marianne Stanley's system for you, and how key do you think it will be for this team?
It's very important. It's a big deal because, like I said, we kind of went with COVID and everything we had to go through with different players not being able to be a part and us being delayed, kind of threw us off our axis as far as getting what we needed to get done based on what Marianne needed from us. I think this year we get a fresh start on, principles, the basics, being able to like respond to her command as far as what she needs from us, and then we can respond and play the game the right way. So it's a big deal. It's a big deal to have a training camp and be able to kind of get the real Marianne and get the whole coaching staff under wraps and being able to respond and have a day by day instead of everything being so rushed. It's a big difference.
This is a big rookie class. What has stood out to you about the rookies that you have here in camp?
I think they all are unique and bring something really amazing to the table. It's amazing. You got a person like Maya, who's like, she reminds me of Tiffany Hayes, very athletic, very bouncy. You got a person that's aggressive, Aaliyah Wilson, who's aggressive, doesn't take no prisoners, and you love to have that. And then you have a person like Unique, who just dominates the paint and being able to, battle with Big T. So, and then you got somebody like Trinity, who's been in the trenches, in the Final Four and being able to know what it's like to compete. So, I mean, it's a big deal. You can't forget people like Chelsea either, because like everybody's competing, everybody's battling. It's good to have them. It's good to embrace them. It's good to be able to take a young group and being able to implement into what we have. It's a big deal.
That's all I got. Thanks, Kelsey.
Thank you.
Thanks, Pat. Kelsey, I'll ask one. You said that you're not a veteran, but you've been here, the last few days with the new practice court, new locker room. What do you think of everything compared to what was here in Banker's Life before that?
I'm like a kid in the candy store, man. I'm not gonna lie. Like all this kind of stuff, I won't lie to you. The stuff that we had before, I mean, it was very different, but I was grateful for that too. The circumstance was different, but you see everything now. Like we even got our own room to kind of do like media, so it's a big deal. Like you kind of be grateful for where things are going, and with the places and organization, the Indiana Field organization believe in us. It's kind of like one of those things where we embracing it. We embracing the process, and them taking the chance to do this for us just shows that we got to compete a little bit more, dig deep, and hopefully make all this worth it.
Aaliyah, it's been only a couple of days up in Indiana so far, but what's the transition been like from A&M to the WNBA?
A whole lot of learning. Like you said, this is day 3. Did a lot of learning. Coach putting in a lot of plays, simple motion stuff. Learning the basics. Learning the transition into the speed of the WNBA. Definitely a difference in speed and having to learn on the fly. Like training camp's only about I think maybe 2 weeks. So just trying to pick up things and get better within learning the offense and learning what this program is and what they're based on is the biggest thing right now.
And how do you see your role on this team moving forward? I know as a rookie, it's tough to come in and kind of fit in right away, but with such a short training camp, how do you see yourself fitting in with some of these veteran players?
I can see it been a good, transition, good mix. Like you said, I'm still kind of picking up, still learning, what it is the coach wants, what they're looking for. Obviously, you can always bring, a different kind of energy, different type of effort. Defense is a big emphasis this year. So just small things like that for sure. But like I said, it's day 3, so still trying to learn, still trying to understand what it is that the coaches are looking for or wanting from us.
Awesome. Thank you.
No problem. Thanks, Mike. Pat Boylan, want to go to you next?
Sure, Aaliyah. What has been your interpretation of what it's been like to be coached under Marianne Stanley and this coaching staff?
Oh, it's been really great. Like I love their energy. Every day I'm learning something different. After practice, I'm picking up on the small things of what it is they're teaching us. As we're practicing, as we're going through training camp. It's not as, of course, you ask questions here and there, but they've done a really good job. After practice or whenever, just asking questions and being willing to break that down and help me understand the details of what it is they're asking for and why. I think that's the biggest thing that I'm loving the most right now. I think their expectations for this year are high, and which they should be. We have a really good team. Like you said, we're young, have some vets that, they're leading really well, and them plus the way the coaching staff is, coaching us, the effort they're giving every day, the energy they're giving every day. I think it's been really infectious, and you can tell just by the way, we've been practicing, everybody's energy is up, everybody's talking, we're picking up quick. And if you aren't picking up quick, you're able to, watch the group ahead and the vets, they're breaking it down to you. I think it's been a really well transition. Like I said, it's day 3 and we picked up a lot. We learned a lot. We've been getting after it, and I think we're definitely transitioning and learning, getting better every day.
Training camp can be a big proving ground, especially for young players. How do you go about coming in and trying to show what you can do and what you're capable of, but maybe not trying to do too much also?
Like I said, one day at a time. I think after every practice, after every training camp day is like reflecting, yourself and the team and understanding what it is that is needed, what isn't needed, what is wanted, and how you can fit into that, how you can be yourself within what the coaches are asking for. And like you said, that reflection at the end of the day is really big. At least I know for myself, just understanding what I did that day and what I could have done a better job of. And the coaches do a good job of talking after practice when we're in the huddle and telling us what it is they saw that they felt like we could have done better, or what it is that this team needs and versus what we were doing. And like this morning we talked about yesterday's practice where we got after a little bit more, and I think today we were able to reflect off of that and improvise and put in what it is that they were asking for. And I think we look better every day. We're just trying to get better every day.
That's all I got. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thanks, Pat. Hey, Aaliyah, I'm going to ask you one here. I know reading from your bio on the A&M website about how you take pride in guarding the best player on the other team when they have the ball. When did you kind of realize that was your shtick, and how much pride do you take in knowing that, hey, that is your thing that, you were prided on back in your college days?
I think just since I was younger, just something I always enjoyed, being dominant on both ends, guarding the best player and locking them down, kind of intimidating them, blocking their shot, getting energy off of that, getting steals, put my team in positions where we're able to feed off of our defense so that our offense could get going. I think just realizing how important that was early, and realizing not how easy it was, but how much more fun it was doing that on both ends for myself. And I think just as, the talent and the stage got bigger, I think I started enjoying it more, just knowing, okay, like these are the best players, these are the better players, these are the go-to players on this team. And knowing that I had the ability to be able to lock them down or make it really tough for them that night, I think that just kind of became something that I became even more passionate about. And like you said, in college, I really took pride in it, and especially knowing like that's something that could carry over into, the WNBA. And so hopefully I know that's a big thing that coaches are talking about, and definitely working on transition into that, in the league and guarding the best players. Like even every practice, just trying to guard Tori, trying to guard Kelsey, trying to guard those girls that, are pretty good.
I'll just ask this last one here. How tough is it guarding Kelsey Mitchell?
I mean, between Kelsey and, Victoria, it's pretty tough just knowing like they can score on 3 levels and they're consistent and, they're quick, they have experience. So like, of course, it's been the first 3 days. I'm definitely learning. I'm learning a lot from them, every day, just from guarding them and then just being able to sit there and watch on the sideline. But definitely not an easy task, but I know it's going to, make me better and help me to be able to transition into this league and be able to figure out how to guard those best players, mentally and physically.